Yeah, it's a good area down here.
Yeah, it's really fun. I like it. It's very nostalgic for me.
I'll bet, dude. Yeah. You said your grandma still lives down this way?
Yeah, she still lives in Salem.
That's awesome, dude. Well, looks like all of our audio levels are looking good, so we're ready to roll, man.
Okay.
Dude, yeah, dude, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast, man. I really appreciate it.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I always like to start out, just give you a couple minutes to do a quick introduction of yourself. Tell us who you are and something unique about you that people may not know.
Ooh, something unique about me. Um, okay. Do you want to like right now?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Okay, cool. A quick introduction. My name is Reese Green, and I'm from Arizona. Currently living in Utah, and I make music or die is, and something unique about me. I don't know. I like I don't know. What do people usually say is unique? I
I don't
don't
know,
think I
man.
have much unique. I don't have
There's,
anything.
one guy said that he hit a bear while driving down the road. Yeah, that's pretty unique.
Okay, it's like a cool story.
Yeah,
I can say
something
that.
something random. Yeah, man.
I've taken a sword attack to the head.
Like a real sword?
Yeah, sorry, like a real sword. Let's see if I can actually like I'm like doing a Voldemort. I think I have like a scar in the back.
No way.
Maybe on another, yeah, 7 staples. Or yeah, I believe so. Seven
Dang, dude.
staples to
So
stitch it
so
back up.
yeah, now I definitely have to hear the story. How did this come about?
So it's pretty stupid. So I was in the 7th grade, and yeah, so and basically it was like just some random night. I have a lot of brothers, which makes me very lucky, and we're all playing. And I was under this blanket, and we were like, I don't know if we had a name for the game. It was maybe we call it the monster game. And I was under this blanket, like being a monster, like rah, like to my
Yeah,
younger
yeah,
brothers, and one of them, the youngest, his name is Charlie. So okay, so I guess you're one. I think what everyone is more interested in is where did the sword come in? So I actually have, it's like Sting from Lord of the Rings. I have like a replica of
oh,
Frodo's
dang.
sword,
No
and
way,
it
that's
just is like,
awesome.
yeah. And so, basically, we're just doing the monster thing. I think I freaked out my younger brother a little too much, and just he grabbed that thing and bopped me on the head with it. I was under a blanket, so he didn't know where he was hitting. It just happened to hit my head, I guess.
Oh my
And
goodness, man.
that was that dude. Yeah, no, it felt like a hammer. Like you don't really feel like the sharpness of a blade. I just felt like a hammer. You see
Yeah.
stars.
Oh my
And
goodness. How old was he when you
basically,
did it?
so if he's like exactly 10 years younger than me. So he was about 3 or 4.
Dang, man.
Yeah, it was pretty
Oh,
crazy.
that's nuts, man. Well, that's definitely unique, right? Like
That
seven
is unique.
seven
Yeah.
staples to the back of the head because of that. I mean, that's pretty nutty, bro.
Yeah, I
Oh
know. I would
man.
not recommend that. I would not recommend
I
that.
yeah, I can imagine. So what brought on the relocation to Utah from Arizona?
Um, mm, just moving out, honestly.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, how old are you?
I'm 31, so I'm pretty old.
Okay, well, I mean, you probably know exactly what it is then. Like, I mean, I just turned 20, and I was just like, nah, I just don't really feel like living at home. And my relationship with my parents was like not bad or like not to flex,
No, it's
but
just
like
but you get to a point where you're like, "I gotta grow up, man. I gotta get
no,
out."
yeah.
Yeah.
But I drove up to you. I just packed my car, my little car. It was a stick shift. I no longer have it, but just packed it with music stuff and just drove to Utah. And I didn't really have anywhere to stay. I just had a lot of friends and family up here, including my grandma in Salem. And I basically just kind of stayed with my friend. His name was Nathan, and he was very nice of him to let me stay with him and just crash on his floor for like a couple months until he and I left to to do sales over the summer, and then that was
Oh,
the way.
dude, you got suckered in, huh?
Yeah, I
Did
don't know.
that
He's
3
pretty.
years, man. That was,
You did that for what did you sell?
so I sold pest control for 2 years, 2 different companies,
Wow.
but 2 years of pest control, 1 year here in Utah and then 1 out in Raleigh, North Carolina, and then
Okay.
did a summer of solar. It was, not I mean, it's something that I learned a lot about myself, and
Yep.
I learned a lot about what I'm not willing to do to make money, because there's a
Lie.
lot of sleaziness, man. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
sleazy dudes, man. They're just willing to just like sell their soul to make a buck, basically. Lie their
Mhm.
eyes out. I'm like, dude, that's not me, man. I can't do this. So,
Who when you sold solar, was that for who does sell solar? Like
oh,
not
there's a bunch
Vivint.
of them, but the one I sold solar with went out of business. So,
Oh, okay. And
yeah.
then who'd you do you remember your pest control companies?
Oh, I do. The first year was Altera, who is now Vantage. No, not
Okay.
Vantage. They are now Aptive. Sorry. And then the second year
Uh
was Vantage, which was stellar. Those guys, I cannot say enough good things about the team at Vantage. So if anyone is gonna go do summer sales, they should do it through Vantage.
okay. Noted. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
It was
Oh
definitely an
man.
experience, but
What did you sell?
pest control.
Okay. Who'd you go with?
I um I actually it was called Bulwark. Have you
Okay,
seen
yep.
him? Have
Bulwark.
you seen him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I
yeah,
mean, they were a competitor, right? So I knew about them when I was out on the doors. I was always
right.
I took note of all of what our competitors did, and I was like, "Ah, we're pretty much the exact same. It's just a matter of being able to undercut price."
Yeah. Oh, no, no, no. I mean, I'm still working in pest control. I
Oh,
still
okay.
spray houses,
Oh, sick.
and it's not for Bulwark. It's for a different company, but I did do it for Bulwark too, and it is. I mean, exactly the same.
Yeah.
Bulwark it's not too big in Utah, is like my understanding.
Yeah.
But
I mean, a lot of them are smart to not really compete here in Utah. It's
yes,
kinda like the training grounds, though, where a lot of people come out and, like, dude, people in Utah just get their doors get knocked like crazy because all these kids are like, this is where a lot of the door to door are based, and so people are just out knocking doors to train in the spring, and
right.
oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, yeah. Bulwark, I can't say anything bad about Bulwark. The so my girlfriend's dad it owns that company, or like is
Oh,
the
cool.
CEO. So
Nice. Well,
yeah.
like, I never heard so the only company that I really like, there's only 2 companies that I'm like, I will not sell for them ever. That's Vivint and Aptive. Those are the only 2 companies I'm unwilling to work with, of ever. Aptive, it's funny because one of my buddies, his brother's part owner. I don't know anything about Aptive, so I can't say Aptive, but Altera, one of the old owners of Altera, is now the new owner of Aptive. So I just have little confidence that he's changed and become a better person than he used to be. Anyway,
Wow.
now that I'm just throwing people under the bus, I apologize.
No,
Like I
that's
said, I mean
that's funny.
that was a rough summer, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was
That's funny
young.
that it's all circling back like that though. The buddy that I did summer sales with is like texting me right now, and he's like, "Did you ever get that $10 from PayPal?" And what he's referencing is when you refer someone and get money. And
Mhm.
it's just funny that like I was so broke over the summer, just garbage at selling, that like those $10 were like I needed it. And it's just funny that that's being brought up now, and then we're talking about it
I
after.
know,
It's just
dude. It's
really
so funny.
pretty funny
So
stuff.
so you and your buddy, you're crashing on his floor. We gotta obviously derailed a little bit, but you're crashing on his floor and you guys went out and did sales and you learned a bit, I'm sure, but now I'll let
Learned
you continue
so
your
much.
story.
Sorry, what? I missed that
I
last
said
sentence.
now I'll let you continue your story because I kinda cut you off, sorry.
Oh, no, I don't think there's really any more to the story except we just end up here. Working over the summer in general just put money in my pocket to just have a place in Salt Lake now. And
Yeah.
then, just I'm just working and kind of pursuing the band thing a little bit, or just music in general. I have a lot of projects.
Oh,
The
nice.
band is just the only one that has a management, a PR
Yeah.
team that reached out to you
Yeah,
and
dude. No, it's cool because like, um, obviously with the music, it's fun. It's got great summer vibes, which is perfect for this time of year, right? It's like, "Oh, this is great. Now I have more music to like," because I we got our, we do like one of those 14-foot above ground pools, right? I got that all set up, and I was out grilling over the weekend, and so I'm like, "Man, this is a good kind of music to have playing on a speaker while I'm doing all this stuff with my kids and hanging out and stuff." So it's fun, man. So
wow,
yeah, dude.
awesome. You have kids.
Yeah, I've got 2. I've got 2 sons.
That's fantastic. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's busy, man. It is busy. Yeah, dude, so I was obviously been able to listen to a bunch of the music that you've released. I think, um, my favorite is, "I'm Your Stupid Little Punching Bag."
Yep.
I just that song is just it just it had a lot of reminiscent vibes for me, but then it also just kinda, like, lyrically was awesome. It was just fun. Um
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
so tell me how you transitioned. So obviously you said you packed up your car with all the music stuff, crashed on your buddy's floor. How did you actually start making music and actually going somewhere with it?
Um, making music and go. So, I was making music. I mean, unless this is not what you're asking, I was making music before I packed it up, and
Mhm.
I don't know if that correlates with what
No,
you're
no, yeah.
saying or
No, I'm just curious, like, because typically you make that big leap and, I guess where my mind comes from is you've probably been making music for a long time, various different endeavors you've done and stuff, but what made the music start sticking and obviously I'm sure you really haven't taken many breaks from it or anything, but when you got here to Utah, was there anything different about it for you being away from home, being on your own, kind of like experiencing life a little differently?
oh, yeah. I mean, okay, so that's a great way to put it, and I would say yes. I would say, oh, I heard a little strange noise.
No, you're good.
Um, I would say it gave me confidence, you know? Um, in prior when you're like when you're living at with your parents or just anywhere you grew up and you're just kind of in the same bubble, you might I mean, you feel a little just whatever, right? Trying to think of how to say that better. Like you're not going anywhere
You're kind of
or like,
sheltered.
yeah, you're a little sheltered and just and like, it's almost like, when you're living at home and you're making music, it's a hobby. You move out and you're making music. It's what you do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So definitely that like big amount of like I didn't even like do anything different. I mean, I was a little more like disciplined about it. Like I would like wake up early, like go downstairs and hit the stew. And like since then I've like had moments like right now I'm trying to do this remix a day kind of thing. And like last semester it was a beat a day. So I mean there's still like discipline going, but like I mean confidence, discipline, yeah, it's like something I do, I think. And I've like made some changes to, how I construct myself with it, but it all
Yeah.
just I think it just, centers around what I do.
And you obviously have a bunch of different projects going on, but Popsicle Stick Airport is the one that has kind of the management and stuff. Is there something different about this project than the other ones, or what? Why is this one kind of why does this one have a little bit of steam to it?
So, um, a couple of reasons. In short, the most polished,
Okay.
um, the most hands on deck. It's not just me; it's my friends. Um, the most conventional, believe it or not. I mean, the others are just are are projects that I mean. I talk about this sometimes. We had a little like rap group. Have you ever been to Arizona
I
by
have, yeah,
chance?
yeah.
Okay, like in the Gilbert area. So,
Let's see, where's Gilbert? Because I've been to the Phoenix area.
mhm.
Gilbert's right near Phoenix, right? Is that Gilbert, or is that
Gilbert's
Mesa?
in Phoenix, yeah, like
Okay, yeah.
southeast.
Yeah, so I've been to Phoenix is where I've been,
Okay.
but, I don't know a whole lot. I dated a girl from Phoenix, that's why I've been there. But
Oh, very cool.
but she was
Okay.
living here in Utah when I dated her way back in the day, so
Awesome. Yeah, no, we had there's this in high school, this little rap band. It was called Physics Boys, and I think it's still on Spotify if you you might find it funny. And then there's just like um what is the project? Oh, it's called Suburbia, and it's about
Okay.
just being like a suburban boy, like think, like golf attire, like I don't know, and like all the what are those shirts called?
The
Polos.
polos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, polos and short shorts, and like I mean, Ethan has a bar about like, I mow my lawn, do my chores, and then I can hang out with like just it's just stuff like that. Whipping in the in the golf cart, and
Oh
it
man.
gets pretty strange sometimes. Some of it's like really, I mean, there's like a baby diss track where we're just like, beefing with babies as a whole. Um, so to answer your question, the comparison, like this, I mean, PSA is like, from the heart and a little more conventional.
Yeah.
And, it's easy to kind of get, which, kind of has that's a double-edged sword in my opinion. And then Physics Boys, other pursuits, it's like, in my right, managers are thinking, in my right mind, I can't manage a band that is like doing a hate crime on babies right now. And so, so maybe that answer was a little more obvious than you thought about,
No, that's
why
awesome.
PSA has the most steam. But
Well, I mean, that makes sense, but it's funny because I feel like a lot of musicians have multiple different outlets, right? Because um, obviously, PSA has its own sound. It has a very consistent sound that's um, I don't know, it's for me, it kind of is reminiscent of the late 2000s pop kind of like era that came like full steam, right? Like Hello Goodbye type. Not quite that electronic, but in that same vein. But then it also kind of takes modern nods of more like instrumental pop music. So it kind of combines the two and pieces them together. But I feel like sometimes when you've got something that is more conventional, something that's a little bit less experimental, let's say, you kind of need something on the other side to kind of scratch that itch, right?
right, yeah, that's like a joke with artists, right? Like something to pay the bills, something to, exercise your mind in a way. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Are
Not
there
that
also
PSA is paying any bills by by any means, but you know what I
Hey, I
mean.
mean, you're out there spraying for those bugs and you're coming up with song I mean, I feel like that would be I mean, do you find a lot of opportunity to write while you're kinda, like, driving and like, do you think of a lot of things while you're driving or out, like, doing treatments and stuff?
Um, creatively, like song ideas, no, but I'm at the head of this band, so it's running. I'm like running a business. So when I have a lot of free time to think while driving and spraying, I may not be thinking of like song ideas, but I'm always thinking of how to better the band, if that makes
Yeah.
sense, and all the stuff we need to post and what we need to schedule and whatnot. I mean, I was thinking about
Right.
you this today,
Yeah,
so
yeah, you're like, "Alright,
stuff
I
like
gotta
that.
gotta be prepared to talk to this loser on the podcast." No, that's awesome, dude.
I
Because
thought no such thing. I thought no such thing.
no, I mean, that makes a lot of sense though, because there is a lot more to music and being a musician than making music,
Right.
unfortunately at times, right?
Yeah, sometimes you don't wanna worry about the numbers, you don't wanna know the ticket sales, you don't wanna know the stream count, that will make you depressed, you wanna just you wanna just, make good music, but it's just an evolution is how I see it.
Yeah,
Um,
and with,
so
like
much
oh, yeah, go on.
music being made. I was just gonna say, like, you know, only like 15 to 20 or like, 10 to 15, 20, like you need a cosign to like get big. And
Yeah,
now you kind of don't, you just need to be viral. But now music is more accessible to make. So it kind of just balances. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Like I'm just saying it's an evolution. It's not really right or wrong. It's just how it is now.
yeah, and I mean, the thing that I'm noticing the biggest is attention spans are so short. It's just so like, I catch myself doing it. I'm like, "I need to stop doing this disservice to these artists because it really is, like, so unfortunate that we're so inundated with everything. You've got new Stranger Things season streaming on Netflix. You've got Kenobi over on Disney Plus. Then you've got The Boys over on Amazon Prime, and they're all at the same time. Then I've got all these bands that I get to listen to, that I'm having on the podcast and stuff, and you just like constantly bombarded, and
Yeah.
it really just you have to choose where your time is going to go, and it really is tough. And I imagine as an artist it's even tougher because you're like, I need to get that attention to come my way somehow.
For sure. No, that's hearing so many strange noises. Um, yeah, no, begging for attention sucks. Um, yeah. I mean, I have like a lot of different perspectives or like just ways I can comment on that. I mean, I kind of always told myself, I mean, this was like over the summer and like I almost had like too much time to think, because that's like when I did a break from music and was just working. But I was like, I would like say stupid stuff to myself, but like it has some weight to it. I would say like, if we're still at, 500 monthly listeners, by next month or like in 2 months, like this has just got to stop. Because I hated like begging for attention. I hated like, releasing a song and like it would just sink or like, paying for it all. It's like a sunken cost. It's like very discouraging. And, you know, promoting on TikTok is like demoralizing um, and emasculating for some, maybe. So I don't know, like, yeah, no, I mean, but then it just pushes me to make music that isn't boring, and I've kind of talked about that before with people, or like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's rude of me to say because I can't generalize everyone else as boring and me not being boring. But if I'm being honest with myself, that is how I'm going to try to like project myself, whether it's
Yeah.
true or not. So
And I feel like I relate so much to that begging for attention. I hate that. I find myself so far behind on social media posts. Like, so often I'm just like, I love this part of
yeah,
what I do. I love this part. And there's so much more that I need to do that is so hard to find motivating. So for yourself, when you're having those thoughts, if I can't get past 500, like I just got to put the kibosh. Like when you're having those thoughts and having those feelings, I mean, you're not going to quit music because it's probably part of your soul. And I learned this in an interview I had a few weeks ago. The individual, she was just saying like, I can't, it's part of who I am. I can't just not make music, but it's also like if you're at that demoralizing state, there's that constant like ebb and flow of life. So for you, how did you get past those feelings of, or like those thoughts where you, like you said, you had a little bit too much time to think? What made you get back out there and just say, all right, I can still do this, even if this next song doesn't crack what I'm looking for, even if I do feel a little demoralized on social media. Like, what is it that got you back out there in the saddle on to ride again?
um, well, first of all, I can't say that I like have conquered that. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
that's you know, as an artist, you're just gonna like, be proud of yourself. This is like so pretentious of me. If you're not proud of your work, that's okay. Be proud of yourself. Kind of separate that work and separate the work from the artist kind of thing. I don't know. In my specific example, there it's so hard to grow a band without playing shows, and COVID it made it impossible to like get
Mhm.
even past how many monthly listeners or whatever number means something to you. So in my specific example, once COVID wasn't, or was a little relaxed, and we started experimenting with shows where you're masked up and vaccinated, that definitely you know made me put me back in the saddle, gave me another
Yeah.
chance. That's how that went. um I don't know. I honestly sleep. Like, you sleep on it. Like, I guess
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we had. I mean, you said you like this right now. The actual. You know, you don't want to post about begging for people to listen to your podcast, but you love
Yeah.
actually podcasting
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
And I can't. I don't know. I'm not a podcaster. I don't have a pod. So like, does anything go wrong during this? Like the
Oh
part
yeah.
you love?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it feels like it does, but, like, I don't know, like, when a question I ask doesn't land and I'm like, "I don't know how to reword this, I'm just gonna give up." Like, I'm just gonna just move on.
That's true. Yeah, and like I mean, and you're like really lighthearted about it, which is good. But like, isn't that a nightmare too? And you're probably like, what are you saying? But like,
No, I
we want
get
to
it.
focus
You're
on
you're
the
right.
things we like. And if you don't want to care about the numbers, you just want to play the show. Like oh my god, what a nightmare when the show goes wrong too.
Mhm.
So all very very sad stuff, very like hard to like work through. But asleep and honestly you forget about it is like another thing I've noticed. I mean, everything is so clear in retrospect, as we say, and you'll just know what to do better for next time. So
Yeah. I am curious when you mentioned obviously separating the art from the artist. Um, I get that in theory. Like I could read that in a book and be like, "Yeah, that makes complete sense." But then in practice, I'm like, "But isn't the artist what they make who they are?" Like, and so how do you separate the? Because I hadn't really thought about this until you met. Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's actually I think that's a lot harder than it sounds.
right, easier said than done.
Yeah.
Well, just to clarify, what I was more meaning was, or what I meant was more like from like a personal standpoint of like when you are the artist making art, like being an artist is to suffer, or like like I'm saying, like you're never going to be satisfied with your art, or so that's been the case for me, I guess, and like maybe
Okay.
many others. And so I just meant more like that's okay, and that's like the joy or the ride, and the whole point of being an artist. I just think you should be easy on yourself, and like be proud of yourself for what you do. You can forget about whatever song you made in a couple years. Do you want me to
Okay.
tackle, because what you're referring to sounds more like the the classic example, I mean, of an artist doing something controversial, and then everyone is like, but no, we must separate.
See, but
Is
that
that what
one's
you're kind
easy.
of
So
saying,
that
or
one's easy for me. Like to to say I can and this is it's easy for me on the other side, right? Like I can enjoy the music and forget about who made the music. That's easy for me. But
okay?
I'm saying from the other side, from the musician side, that would be really difficult for them to separate themselves from it, right? Because on a consumer side, I've never been the person who is going to know all these facts about an actor or a musician or anything like that. I enjoy their art and I think it's great and I genuinely don't care about their personal life most of the time, right? This
Right.
podcast has changed when it comes to a lot of bands. I love getting to know individuals on a more personal level because it is just really awesome. But like as like a consumer of another band, I'm not going to go in and look into all their little deep dark secrets, right? So on that side it's easy, but I'm saying like on the side of like the artist who creates the music to say, "All right, well that song was a flop. I'm not a flop." Like to maintain that perspective would be challenging. To be like to not say how my music is received is is a representation of how I am received, right? Like that's what I'm saying would be difficult. Does that make sense?
No, that does make sense. I mean, you might just be unraveling, before both of our eyes, that I'm like a narcissist or something. Just
I
kidding.
love
But
myself no matter what, bro.
yeah, but like, isn't that the goal? I mean,
It
I don't
is. It
know.
really is. Yeah.
Um, well, that makes me want to ask, like, I don't know, like, do you know yourself like fully? Because I mean, this kind of goes along the lines with like sleeping it off, and like, if you get hangry, like eat food. Like those are like really like basic. My point being like, do you know yourself? Because you'll have an idea, you'll make a song and you're like, this is garbage, and you'll distance yourself from it. But like in a year, you can listen to it and be like, and then you're proud of it. Does that make sense at all? Like
Yeah.
I know me personally, and this is like the narcissist bit maybe coming out, but like um there's one specific time where I was like really bummed out, just about something in general. I don't think it was really related to music, but um I forgot that I made these, like, this certain project, like these songs, like, not like, I think it was in high school. So I didn't like it at the time, but I popped it on then, and I was like, oh, look at what I did. And so that's like learning about yourself when everything is clear, like in
Yeah.
retrospect, I guess. So
Yeah.
maybe I would change that to like a temporary distance, but like just try to like be proud of yourself, I
Yeah.
guess.
I like that. I mean, it's a fantastic perspective, and I mean, I bring that up because like I came from a like I'm very confident and secure in myself and my life right now, but I did come from a place of like, holy crap, like I stopped playing music because of mean reactions and just rude people, right? Like I stopped playing music. And so like I I'm just to me, I internalized way too much of this stuff, and I let that overpower that internal voice of being like proud and stoked about what I could do, right? And so that's where I'm like, man, that's I mean, it's challenging, I think.
Yeah.
I think a lot of, I wouldn't call it narcissism, honestly. I'd call it self-confidence. I would call it like self-realization, understanding what you're capable of and like seeing what you've done. That's a pretty amazing thing, and I like that perspective.
Yeah. No, that's what you kind of said about that external stomping out the internal. That's actually what our band name like means.
Oh, really? Explain.
Another thing that was assigned meaning in retrospect once we learned stuff about ourselves.
So
Um,
explain. I love it. I'm excited to hear this.
okay. Well, basically, just like Gunnar and Caden and I we've been playing music together for a while in high school, and we just wanted to, shift gears, and just you always want to like rebrand. You always want to facelift something just because you always think you can do it better, and you usually can.
Yeah,
you're always smarter than you were like 5 years ago, but um
hopefully.
hopefully, yeah. I mean, I guess when you're like, ages like what, 13 to 20,
Yeah,
you're,
13 to 18, you definitely be smarter. You should be.
yeah, those are like, it's funny how like large those increments are in a way.
It really
Anyways,
is, yeah.
yeah, no, just, and speaking of, mean words coming from an external force, like I was like weirdly cynical about my musical upbringing, and I focused a lot on like being unlucky. I was like, I don't come from a family of music. I don't have friends that like, you know, see a lot in me musically, and like, they're kind of a downer too.
Yeah.
Um, but in a weird way, I like looked up to them though. So just sorry, I'll speed this up. But just there, I had
No, you're
one
good, dude. We
friend
got all the time.
who, very good, very good. Yeah, I had one friend, and I keep him unnamed, but for some reason he was my like I based everything cool off like around him. If that's that right, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Everything was cool is kind of because like everything he liked was cool because he was
yeah,
him. Yeah, okay.
and so when we're just the member, this other member left in our band. His name was Tyler, but when we were all brainstorming like names. There was a couple of names that popped up. I can't remember. It was like one of them was like airport sushi, popsicle stick airport. Like there's a couple, and my friend like caught wind of the of popsicle stick airport, and he was like, oh, that was like pretty cool, and so embarrassing, so embarrassing of me. Like I was like, well, I guess that's the one then. Like I guess we have to do that one because like this cool guy said it was cool, and and in my opinion, that name, like our name, like isn't good. Like it's not like it doesn't stick. Maybe people have like kind of laughed when we like have said it, and when we're playing shows, the marquee, you know what that is, right? Where they like put the
Mhm.
letters
Yeah.
up on like we take up every single space because
Yeah,
it's such a
it's
long
super long.
name. We're just kind of like trolling people, like, and um and it's just kind of like a reminder of like wearing it on your sleeve and like um you know against the grain or against the current, and like it's almost like I wear this like, you tried to be a people pleaser once and now you must like suffer with this name forever. But where it truly got its meaning after that, because that was just kind of in a limbo stage, was not too long ago when we were thinking of going under a new name, and I like found myself in front of like all my friends
Oh,
naming stuff.
oh, there we go. Now I hear you.
Name I found myself in in front of a group of friends, like naming band names,
Uh-huh.
and this wasn't too long ago, and it was the exact same thing. Like it was like I didn't learn anything, and I was like, I'm
Yeah.
crazy again. I'm trying to people please all these people, and like they're all just like staring at me. So it was like a very like is a very good moment of me just learning about myself. And I was like, you know what? Like that's the name and that's why. And um it's because like the whole process is against the grain, not just choosing a name and you know playing an instrument, but like getting shows and like getting people to show up and just every single aspect of it. Nothing unique to me in our process, but definitely like a representation of I mean, it seems like you can resonate with it in a sense if
Yeah.
you let external forces, you know, get to you. So
Yeah.
that's like kind of the point of it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I love that. That's awesome backstory because it really is like it's amazing how that insecurity. I love that you kept it. It's like it lives on, right? It's like it's just a constant reminder. And it's kind of nice because like you can it's almost like a every time you say it, you're like, take that. I'm doing something with this. I'm making it happen because I have what it takes to make it happen. And it's cool.
Right. Yeah.
That's freaking awesome. And as the years have gone on and you transition from high school kids with these various projects and kind of started taking it more seriously, what are some of the things that for you that you've changed and kind of grown with in terms of having the same moniker and going by this name for this band, like you're growing and changing as an individual. So like what are some of the things that you have noticed most with your music that you've changed and grown with?
Um, wow. I feel like the answer should be like obvious or something. I don't know. Um, I think I can't repeat confidence again, but or else I'll switch it a little bit. We all have more of a desire to be ourselves, I guess. I mean, if you think about it in high school, like you're piggybacking off of like everyone in the first place.
Mhm.
And I would say we still are, in the sense of like I love just not only wearing insecurity on my sleeves, but like inspirations.
Yeah.
Um, but like we all, I don't know what people think of when they hear popsicle airport, like what kind of like colors or you know kind of the aesthetic. But like in a way I kind of hope that like we somehow redefined it in a way that that it wasn't before. Like we're it's almost just like it is a brand, and like with our logo and everything, it's like very unconventional kind of experimental stuff.
Yeah.
So we're all just wanting to be ourselves more than anything, and like willing to take those risks too. I know at the end of 2020, which was when I moved up to Utah, that we dropped all those super ambitious songs, some of them not available anymore, which is kind of I guess, wrong of me to go backwards like that. But, just so ambitious is like the way I see it.
Yeah.
So that's how I would answer that. Keyword ambitious.
I love it, dude. I mean, and like, was that something that each of you guys kind of grew together, or was it one person kind of started taking a lead and started pulling the others along? Like, you know, obviously that's one of the advantages of having a band is everyone kind of you move together, right? You get to help each other, but was there like a little bit more motivation from one or the other, and how did that all go for the band?
Um, Motivation, I think motivation, yeah. But I also want to say like inspirations. People want their voice heard in it, and you know, combining all these like crazy genres together, maybe because we all come from like very different musical backgrounds in a way.
Yeah.
And just being inspired and motivating motivated to be heard is like um I'm trying to think of like actually where I was going with that. I kind of lost it, but
No, you're good.
um I think can you actually repeat
No,
that?
you're good. I
I
was
got
just
like in
yeah,
my
like with the band, because you obviously said, like there's kind of two parts, right? There's that confidence and motivation, and then ambition, this desire to accomplish more. But I was just curious how each member of the band has contributed to that, how the dynamic has changed. Because going from high school to being adults, a lot of high school friendships don't last beyond that because of that weird transition, right? So for the band, you guys have kind of multi-aspect, right? It's friendship and bandmates. So like how did that change? How did that grow? Like was there a lot of camaraderie there as things continued moving forward, or was there some people kind of pulling the weight? How did that all work out for you guys?
Okay. I think I do understand your question. I think what's like scary about it is like how revealing it is in a way. And I don't like do we got a name drop who's like,
If you don't want to answer, that's totally fine. You can just say I plead the fifth and we'll move on.
No, that's okay. I'll just like I'll try to just be like as honest and do both sides justice the best I can. Given COVID, no shows were happening, right?
Mhm.
So definitely was an inspiration for me to move
Yeah,
away from my bandmates. Not intentionally like from them, like I got to get away from them,
but
but
out of the
like just
situation.
move
Yeah.
move somewhere else. And I don't really remember their comments on it. I don't know if they were frustrated with that or like even thought much because we were kind of all in limbo anyways of not playing shows. And but they might have been. So I kind of I definitely took a leap there in terms of like, let's go into the Utah scene maybe a little bit, and I'm like doing something for myself, which is inherently selfish, not necessarily wrong, but selfish. I don't know how they felt about it, to be truthful, and I feel like it did kind of like bring us apart a little bit, just naturally.
Yeah.
Um, I still like internally freak out if we're all best friends still sometimes, which they don't really know about. I can tell you that I don't care if they hear either, but um, like we're all best friends when we're together, and we're all bandmates, and it gets blurry when we're far apart, and like definitely when I was it's funny because you mentioned Raleigh earlier, and I was in
Yeah.
Charlotte. So when
Okay.
I'm in all the way in Atlanta or Charlotte doing who knows what, and they're somewhere else, then it's blurry, it's hard. And then um, you know, I think I think I definitely like take the lead on kind of pushing us or like driving us. Um, Gunner's really good with connections. Our first show back was at the Rebel Lounge. Our first time playing there, actually. That
Oh,
was
nice.
last June. Sorry, that's in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was like, and I just flew back. I was in Oklahoma at the time. I just flew from Oklahoma to Arizona, Caden was in Charlotte. He flew from Charlotte to Arizona, and Tyler was in Utah. He flew from Utah to Arizona, and we played that show, and like that was kind of a moment of us, feeling pretty brotherly and best
Yeah.
friends and bandmates and like just making it work. And I think from from that point it's been very much just like that, where we kind of understand our conditions, and like although they're not ideal because I'm up here, they're down there, we still make it work.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of takes that catalyst sometimes, right? That one little spark to light the flame. And it's just like, it's cool that, like, honestly, like, I still have some of my close friends from high school. Like, I'm still close friends with them. And it's just like, it is really cool to have that, because like there's something about that, that friendship that there's a lot of organic kind of energy that comes from that, right? Like being able to write with each other, perform with each other, like you guys know each other pretty well. So it's cool that you guys were able to kind of get through all of it and make it last, make it work still. And so with like the current setup, obviously, being further away and stuff, are you guys still actively doing shows and planning shows and stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, we just went on like a little mini tour. We played in Arizona and Utah and California, and that was just exactly a month ago. I mean, we
That's
just wrapped
awesome.
it up at like May 8th, and that would, be about a month ago. So,
That's
um,
incredible.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. And so to answer your question, like, yeah, um, we're still playing. We're still, we just make it work. We line it up. Um, Again, double-edged sword, probably doing us a disservice in other ways, not being able to practice every single, you know, week, let's say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the more interesting or like the more scary part is the whole writing process, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's been kind of well, because it's really what's really funny, and I'm just now thinking of this is like um I don't know. Like I'm thinking of being together in a room, and like you can imagine it too in a band, and you're writing. Someone like writes a guitar part, and you're just kind of like, oh, like yeah, like that's pretty good. Like maybe you don't like it deep down. Well,
Yeah.
imagine someone sending you a guitar part. Do you know what you have to do? Don't respond. Like if
You
you
just
don't,
ghost them.
yeah, if you don't like it. So that's definitely like super hard. And but then it's kind of nice because then you can tell when they do respond, they like it, and like when everyone's active, that means like the juices are flowing. But it's definitely that's actually pretty funny. I like that idea. But yeah, no, definitely a battle, definitely a process.
Yeah, dude. So what kind of obviously you've got On Your Mind released this year, right? Um and that was literally just barely what, 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago? 2 weeks
yeah,
ago?
like yeah,
Yeah.
just 2 weeks ago.
So what do you got going forward? Obviously, what you can tell us, because obviously there's going to be a lot of stuff that's keeping under wraps. But in terms of what's available to be told, what do you got coming down the pipe?
Um, that's great question. So, I mean, I'm always writing. Um, I kind of like this. I like this new era. I think I like it of artists being confident, and they always say their next best thing or the thing they're doing or their newest thing is their best. They always say that,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's how I feel. Like especially with On Your Mind and all this new stuff that's that I think is going to come out with it in an EP. Not too far off. I'm trying to think of how I can say that.
how you can
But
say it
yeah,
without getting in trouble? Just
no, no, I want. But I think it's so if that if that makes you excited or anyone excited like that I'm saying like it's the best thing I've done, and it's because I believe it. Then that's one thing.
Absolutely.
Um, I'd love to send you
Oh,
personally
dude, I'd
some
love to hear
demos
it.
if you want. If you want
Dude,
to hear
I'd love
some
it.
like
That's honestly like when I found out that people would send me stuff before it gets released, I started kind of like geeking out. I was like, this is amazing. And so like there
yeah.
have been some bands who are like, dude, will you check this out before like and one of them phenomenal musician. He released a side project and he's like, "Hey, I want you to listen through this. It's not in the correct order." And I was like, he's like, "Tell me the track order you think." And I told him though, like I listened through the whole thing and told him the track order I thought. He's like, "Dude, that's pretty similar to mine." And so we like went back and forth. It was really fun because I was like, "This
Yeah.
is so rad."
That's awesome. They kind
Yeah.
of they invite you to be a part of that process.
Dude, I just love
That's
it because
cool.
I mean I genuinely just like one of the coolest things is putting a face and a personality to awesome music. And I think I told you, but your music is awesome. I think it's fantastic, like what you've been able to
Yes.
do. Like I said, I there's a lot of really fun reminiscent vibes for me because like back in high school was like for me was the rise of like Metro Station, Motion City soundtrack, a lot of like for me those very poppy electronics, you know,
Yep.
centric bands, and I've seen those kind of go ebb and flow, and I'm really excited to see this more indie style because there's a YouTuber I watch that you actually remind me of. His name is Blanks. This guy
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
out in I don't know where he's at and somewhere in Europe, but the vibe of your music, I was like, dude, this is actually some really, really solidly written music. And obviously, with On My Mind, I only, you know, I'm Your Stupid Little Punching Bag cracked me up, which is why it was my favorite. But On Your Mind is honestly, it is above the rest in terms of quality of production. The vibe is definitely like I could hear that like on a pop station, right? Which is pretty dope. Like I dig it. So I want you to know that I'm a big fan of what you're doing. And if I didn't say that, I should have earlier.
No, no. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. I feel like this little era you're referring to, and I could be wrong. I feel like you're talking about this kind of like this alt pop electronica indie sleaze is
Hmm.
maybe what some people call it. And
I
that's
wouldn't have added sleaze, but yeah. I'm old, so you know you can just say okay, boomer, and just kind of move me along. You know, it's like all right,
no,
guys.
no, 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 no. Not like the MGMT
Yeah,
remix Passion Pit. Um,
yeah. Passion Pit's a great example. I loved Passion Pit. Like his voice, like that really high tenor voice, was crazy. Almost
do
like
you am I allowed to have your number?
yeah, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
you can't say it right now, can you?
yeah. Not here. I'll send it in the private chat here to you.
I just made a Passion Pit remix yesterday,
No way. That's awesome.
so I want to
Yeah, dude, I
put
just sent
you.
in the private chat to you. But yeah, dude, that's one of the things like I loved what Passion Pit did and Purity Ring, like they were a little bit more less on the electronic side, but you know, I really dug what they did and what Paris did and so there's a lot of really good bands. I think Passion Pit was probably one of my
Yeah.
favorites in that because he was a lot more electronic than the others, but super
Mhm.
fun stuff. I love that genre. And I guess that's one more question before we start winding up here. Who are some of your biggest inspirations?
Oh goodness gracious. Um, it's so embarrassing given that as of recently I've been asked this so many times, and it's like hard each time. Biggest inspirations. Okay, I'm gonna do the trick that I always do. Hopefully, it's a little relevant. So I'm on my laptop now. I'm typing in on repeat on Spotify, and I can see everything I've been kind of, you know, okay. Let's see. So, and again, it's embarrassing because this should be a question that I should have off the top of my head.
No, I
But
love it, dude.
AG Cook is always on that list.
Okay.
AG Cook is Charlie XCX, her producer.
Okay, cool.
Um, yeah, he has his whole. He started like this little record label collective called PC Music, and
Sick.
I'm pretty late to it, but everything on it is cool. I love it. That's like it's all like electronic stuff, I guess, or AG Cook. Wow. Charlie XCX, I can honestly name as another one. Another like little stupid thing I came up recently was, how it's not too far off that I sometimes think of our music as Charlie XCX, but with guitars and like drums. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I say this again, maybe it doesn't come out that way, but the input function is definitely that idea. Output, whatever. But so
See,
yeah, Charlie XCX.
That's one of the things that stood out to me, though, that's why I think the music resonated more with me. It was a good hybrid of very electronic, but then you had actual instruments in it, and I was like, okay, that kind of brings it back to reality for me, brings it back to like what I would listen to, so it kind of bridges that gap really well, which is why I dig it so much.
Oops, wrong app. Other inspirations. Claro. As of recently.
I feel like I've heard that one before.
What song did she sing? Oh, no. You know what song she sings. It's the oh my gosh. It's like it was like trending.
Well,
Sophia.
You've gotta know that
only to say you're mine.
Okay. I've heard it. You've got to know I don't listen to the radio like at all. So
that's valid. I'm not sure if Claro's on much radio, but
okay. Yeah, so when people say, "Oh, I'm sure you've heard it," I'm like, I'm sure I haven't.
I see. I think when I meant like you've heard it, is like it's like viral in a way. So it's on multiple social medias is how I imagined it. Whether it's TikTok or Instagram, whatever. But anyways, Claro, do you like Elliott Smith?
Elliott Smith, dope music. Okay. That one is one that I do know, I'm like, I'm trying to like think. I'm like, all right, I know that name. That's perfect. I know that one. Dude, I feel like I'm like so out of the loop on your music. But Elliott Smith, I definitely enjoy because he's been around for a long time.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I almost want to ask you, like dude. what your music tastes. I mean, come on.
Oh, bro, I'm a big pop punk listener. So that's kind of my realm where I come from. But in terms of like if I were to go to my like recently played, it'd be a lot of your music because I was listening to it a bunch in preparation for the interview, right? And then it would be a Real Friends, which I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Oh, that's funny. That's cool.
Yeah, so Real Friends would be right up there. And then one of the most anticipated things for me right now is the Third Eye Blind Unplugged album that he's releasing, a completely acoustic. Ooh. Third Eye Blind Best Hits, all acoustic, is something I'm very, very excited for. So I'm kind of all over the place. Yeah, a lot of the stuff I listen to is based around my podcast though, which is pretty awesome actually. Like it gives me a lot of fresh music to listen to, and then I randomly went on like a way big throwback, and I went with like the Shins and the Decemberists for quite a while. I went on like this major throwback, but that was a couple weeks ago.
Decemberists. I'm so glad I'm on my laptop here.
Have you ever heard of the Decemberists?
I have. My buddy's coming home. You can say hi if you want.
What's up, dude?
Are you being interviewed right now? I think you're saying something stupid. I didn't catch your name. What's your name?
I'm Chad.
This is Chad.
Hey, Chad. How's it going, brother?
I'm sorry that you can't hear him.
That's
but
okay. I'm just gonna scream, "Daddy's home!"
Daddy's home, perfect.
So I'm glad I held my tongue.
Love it, dude.
I can see. It's
I'm glad.
I'm a silly guy.
Laugh.
Oh man.
Laugh.
Please.
All right, dude. Well, I do want to obviously I've taken a good chunk of your time, but I always like to
Dude, no, this is so fun.
I love it. I'm glad, dude. Well, I always like to end with just random non-music related questions. So if you've got a couple extra minutes,
Oh yeah.
okay, sweet. All right. So you're in Utah, so you know about crumble and you know about their delicious. I don't know, maybe you're not a fan. I love crumble. I just had another cookie tonight, but I eat way too much sugar, way too much candy. And so I'm always curious what people's favorite candy and or dessert.
Okay.
So what's yours, man?
I thought you were gonna ask me like, okay, yeah. I think you're gonna say like what my favorite crumble cookie is, but
Oh no, I mean
does
you could go with that too, but I mean very few people would be able to, relate to
right.
that one.
Yeah, no. Favorite dessert is to me. It's ice cream. So easy.
What
Ice
flavor?
cream. Oh, vanilla. I love vanilla,
Really?
chocolate, cookies and cream.
Cookies and creams
Anything.
all time, dude. All
I got
time.
my laptop with the.
You need more.
Okay, I need more light. He says. Was that?
No, that's a great
satisfactory?
answer. That's a great answer, dude. I love it. Have you ever had Bluebell ice cream? Oh, dude. The most incredible ice cream ever.
Yeah, I feel stupid for not just saying that first because you read my mind. But no,
Dude.
it's so. What did you say? What yours was? Favorite?
Oh, my favorite candy or favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert? Favorite candy?
Oh, dude. I honestly like a band that's on you may know them. They're from Phoenix as well. Viper Club. They I had them on the podcast.
Do I know them?
I had them on the podcast.
Those are our best friends.
I love it, dude. They're so rad. Awesome. They
Yeah.
were so much fun to talk to. But they told me about these gummy bears, these in the white bag. And they're like the bougie gummy bears is what we kind of call them. And I bought a bag and they're incredible. They are the best gummy bears I've ever had. And so that's currently what my favorite everything is right now. And I've been making a bunch of those little s'mores treats. I don't know if you've ever had those with like the golden grams and marshmallows and chocolate and mix it all together.
Oh, okay. I was about to say I know what s'mores are. Like
No, I do these little like the s'mores. I don't know, s'mores bars, whatever you'd call them. I've been making a bunch lately because I don't know.
And
slightly...
I think I know what gummy bears you're talking about too. I can imagine them,
dude.
So very cool.
Crazy. Yeah.
Would you ever eat do you eat gummy bears on ice cream, or is that like a?
I used to as a kid all the time, but now I'm worried that because the thing that I never got gummy bears as a kid, so like that was my chance. I'd go to Cold Stone, and I was like, I'm getting two of my favorite things right now: gummy bears and ice cream, right? And so
yeah.
But then you'd have to suck on the gummy bear for so long before it became edible, you know?
Oh yeah, no, you pop them into the bowl of ice and they just freeze. There's rocks.
Yeah, they're solid.
For sure.
But there is something magical about it.
I was just gonna say about Bluebell, just it's so like obvious the quality.
Yeah.
And like you can taste test it. I mean, the obvious buy foam from like the dollar store. Sorry, the ice cream phone. And like, that's but like even like Blue Bunny, like Dryers, Briars, like it's all ice cream and it's good, but like I'm pretty confident that I could pick apart Bluebell in a taste test.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So I'm sure you down in Phoenix, you probably knew a bunch of people who are LDS.
For sure.
I served a mission down in Houston, and
Houston, that's awesome.
Yeah, so after I went and did an entire tour of the Bluebell factory, dude, just made me love them even more.
Oh, that's interesting. Where's Houston again? In Texas?
Yeah, it's Southeast Texas.
Right. I mean, okay, Southeast. Okay.
Yeah, so pretty close to Louisiana.
Are there multiple Bluebell
factories?
I almost said facilities. Factories.
I don't know. It was in Brenham, Texas, which is just outside of Houston. I think it was about a 45-minute drive outside of Houston.
Okay. When I was in Tulsa over the summer, I I think I drove past a Bluebell factory pretty
Oh,
frequently. So it
sweet,
must be like a Oklahoma, Texas
dude. I mean,
something. That's cool.
Bluebell's just the best. All right, dude.
Factor.
Next one here for you. So
Yeah,
sometimes
it's in
it's hard.
Broken Arrow. Okay, sorry.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know. I knew about the Brenham one because that's where they were headquartered and stuff. They literally have like a giant farm there with a bunch of cows where they actually get their dairy, and then they have like an entire bakery where they bake all their cookies and everything. Like they do everything in house. It's crazy. So it was pretty nuts. But anyway,
Wow.
so
Writing it
this
down.
next one, I know, right? This next one, sometimes it's hard to come up with your single favorite. So I do allow your top 3 if you need. But favorite movie?
Wow. Fantastic questions. I think I have a list,
Oh,
which
nice.
makes me sound, um, you know. All right. Let's see here. Um, oh, this is easy. Okay, favorite movies. Have you ever seen Princess Mononoke?
Nope, never even heard of it.
Okay,
Sounds like
like
an anime.
Studio. Hey, yeah, no, it's a Japanese film. You're right. It's a Japanese animated film. Studio Ghibli does like
Yeah,
Ponyo,
yeah.
Spirited Away. So it's
Okay,
one of
yeah.
those.
Okay,
It's a Ghibli film.
gotcha.
So it's great. It's from the 90s. I highly recommend it. Beautiful story, beautiful music, art, everything. Really, really fun to like, I don't know. There's no sequel. This is like so stupid to go on about, but like it's a fantasy world, but there's just one movie, which I find very like fun and
They're
endearing. Like I
building up
don't
a
know,
whole
like
world for just a single movie as opposed to a whole series and stuff.
but I don't even want to say they built the whole world. It's almost like they just kind of like put you in it, and it's like you just kind of observe it. It's not
Okay,
like Star Wars or like anything else where they're gonna milk it. So Princess Mononoke, great film. Um, The Shining,
okay.
um, probably the best movie ever. And I don't. I think that's like all I could like
I mean,
really
I said
say
either
right
1 or
now.
3, so you've got 1 more to go. I'm just kidding, dude. I'm
Oh,
just joking.
I
I'm
was
just
like,
teasing, dude. No, that's awesome, man. I love it.
yeah.
All right,
I
dude.
want to hear yours, of course. Don't
Oh,
think this
dude.
is a one-sided.
Oh,
Like
okay. I mean, it changes a lot.
I love movies, so
But pretty much the staples you can probably see behind me here. Those are all everything Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. So
oh shoot.
that's Dagobah right there with Luke and Yoda. That's all the helmets. Yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd.
Oh,
And then
is
you
your
got a,
shirt Star Wars too?
no, my shirt is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the old cartoon.
Okay, that's obvious now that you said that. But
But
okay, so I probably shouldn't have dissed Star Wars
oh no, you're good. They
on
really
that.
do milk it. I
It's
mean,
kind of a unanimous
yeah, I
like.
mean, I still love it though. Like I've been loving Kenobi, right? The new series. But so Star Wars are always really high up there for me. If I had to pick the number 1, my favorite Star Wars movie would be Rogue One. And then
Like out of all of them?
uh-huh.
Wow. I loved that one too, by the way.
Yeah, I thought that one was the best, the most, I don't know, it was just the most compelling of them all. It kind of finally was the glue that kind of held it all together for me. But I'm also a huge throwbacks, so you may not see it yet. Hold on.
Gonna zoom in again.
There's Home Alone, another film that I love, and then right there is a DeLorean, another. So Back to the
Perfect.
Future. Back to the Future is one of my favorites, and then Bill and Ted's. So a lot of the old school stuff, even here Sandlot. I don't know, a lot of old movies. I don't
You
really.
must love Stranger Things.
Oh, I loved it, dude. Dude, Stranger Things is incredible. It
Yeah,
just scratches every itch for me that way. So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
I'm a big
Yeah,
time nerd. So
that's been no, that's oh my gosh. I just finished. Did you obviously watched the
oh yeah.
4th season?
Are
So
we having to put like a spoiler alert ahead on a banner or something?
I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't even know if I have much to say about like spoilers. It's just I thought it was cool, I
I
guess.
liked it a lot, dude.
Maybe another example of milking, but
But dude, this
still,
fourth season was the best of all of them, in my opinion.
yeah. But
Like,
is milking bad if it's fun?
no, and that's totally my attitude. I'm like, dude, as long as it gets better, it's not like it's like for example, I watched Mulan with my son the other day. I was like,
Okay.
Mulan is such a great movie, so well done, and it auto plays to Mulan 2, and I was like, this is a travesty. That's milking in the wrong way.
Right. No,
So
that's the title of the episode, "Milking in the Wrong Direction," which is like a really funny visual.
All right, dude. Last one here for you. Favorite non-music related hobby? Something you love doing that just has nothing to do with music.
Oh, that's like, now that is a good one to ask because it really puts me in my place too.
Yeah, this is the one I love because so many musicians, everything centers around music. So it's always fun to find out what they finally do when they're not centered around music.
I wanted to say something like, "Oh, I make remixes," but I guess that is music. Like,
Yep.
it's just not PSA.
Well, I mean, your buddy came back from the gym. Do you go to the gym?
Dude,
I saw him pull down the whey protein. I was like, that's a big old bag of protein right there.
I need to, and it's embarrassing that I don't. Okay, no, I gotta come up with something. Like even, wow, I have like a lot of things that I love doing with people. Could I like go
That
on a
counts.
little,
That totally counts.
like I don't have a gym membership or I don't have a climb. Have you ever been climbing like to a climbing gym? Like,
yeah, there's the quarry. Like there's a bunch of climbing
that's
spots.
right. There's the quarry. I forgot about that. So yeah, like I mean, climbing if I can with GF.
Do you
is awesome.
do you do bouldering or do you do rock climbing?
I mean both, but not enough of either to like to say I do it. Does that make sense? Like I've
No, that
done
makes
both,
sense.
but
It's genuinely just a hobby where you're not actually doing it a whole lot.
right. No, and I literally cannot say that I boulder because you've seen the videos of people doing like the crazy jumps to the next one and whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean,
no way.
I had a buddy who bouldered, and I was like, okay, yeah, maybe you go up 10, 15 feet. He's like, no, I go up to about 50 feet. I was like, without a rope? Are you idiot? I'm like, dude. And then he had a kid, and I was just, yeah, exactly right. I said it stupidly, but then he had a kid, and he was like, yeah, I go up to about 15 feet now. I was like, that makes more sense. Now you have something to live for.
Yep. Yeah, no, Utah has allowed me to explore skiing.
Oh, nice.
That's not really a thing in Arizona.
Yeah, definitely not in Arizona.
It is for the people who like do ski, but it's not something you can kind of like try, I guess. I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, because they travel up. You'd probably go to what? Most of them would probably go to like Bryan Head in like Cedar City.
I've been to there's it's called Sunrise and Snow Bowl. Those are both in Show Low, and then I believe there's one kind of by Pace or not Pace and Flagstaff.
Okay.
So there's some resorts. I mean,
Arizona. I ordered a pizza to Payson, Arizona once on accident. I was like, I'm gonna pick this up at the store, and I chose Payson. And I went into the store. I was like, hey guys, you don't have my pizza, and they were like, there was never an order. I was like, well, I ordered it. Look. And they're
that's
like,
right.
That's Payson, Arizona, bro. And I was like, oh, can you still get me my pizza?
Like just transfer the pizza credits over.
They were just like, I guess we'll just, yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry, because I'd already paid for it right on the app. Anyway, sorry, totally random.
No, that's the funniest thing. So
yeah, awesome. When you said Payson, I was like, why is he thinking of Payson? I was like, oh yeah, there's a Payson, Arizona. Totally forgot.
Don't make the same mistake.
If you're ever coming to Payson, Utah, do not order your thing to Payson, Arizona.
Yeah, this is a reminder.
Nice
That's
PSA,
awesome.
right?
Right, little PSA.
So you go skiing, not snowboarding, huh?
I've been both, but I think skiing is definitely, or at least in my experience, it was more relaxing.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like I don't know. Something about like using a board is so like hardcore, which is so awesome to the people that do it. You know, like surfboarding, skateboarding, but it's an export, and like skiing is more like luxury. Maybe is how I see it. So
That's funny.
not that I align with like it doesn't matter at all. I just kind of joking
No,
around, but
no, that makes sense. I haven't skied or snowboarded in years and years, so I'm not a winter fan. I would rather just summer all the time. So
are you from Utah? Did you say that in the
Uh-huh.
beginning?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I mean, I was born in Utah, lived in Vegas for a third of my life, and then moved back to Utah when I was a teenager. And so most like all my formative years were in Utah. So I claim
Right.
Utah as my upbringing, my home
In
state.
in what part, may I ask? Just to
So I grew up in Mapleton, which is just up the road from here.
That's right.
Just up the road from Salem. Yeah. So it's a
Cool.
nice little tiny town. They've got a whole, I think 3 stoplights now. But when I was in high school, they had 1 stoplight. It was a pretty bumping place to be, brother.
We had one rule to follow and we broke it every time. Cruising through. That's funny.
Yeah, dude.
You ever been to Santa Quinn? I was
Oh
obviously I'm
yeah.
assuming.
Yeah, I almost went there for dinner tonight with my kids. We do we go out to eat as a family every Monday, and we almost went to Santa Quinn down to Iceberg, but we didn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Iceberg's
Is it,
milkshakes are so good, dude.
is it called the barn? What or the Red Barn? What is
Yeah, the Red Barn down in Santa Quinn. Yeah, where you can pick your own cherries and stuff.
the apple cider donuts?
Killer. I haven't had them. I love apple cider donuts though.
What? I drove all the way from I was like in Ogden one time. I drove all the way from Ogden to Santa Quinn, which is like
An hour and a half.
I don't know if this makes sense, but like that's like the highest point of you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean Logan's higher, but you know what I'm saying, right?
that's like a solid hour and a half, 2-hour drive, man. That's a pretty long ways to go for some donuts.
Well, they were awesome. So
That's awesome,
oh, you
dude.
can count that in one of in my dessert or my
Your
candy.
dessert, yeah, apple cider donuts. Yeah, my dude, the first time I was introduced to apple cider donuts, I was like floored how good they are. Because I was visiting my sister out in New York State. She lives in upstate New York, and they had an apple
That's
cider
awesome.
mill, and they had this whole song and everything. And then they were like, "Here's an apple cider donut," and I was like, "This is weird." And then I ate it, and I was like, "This is incredible."
Yeah. A song? Like they almost like had like a ritual. Like this was
Yeah,
like a
no,
real
like it was this little dude. I've even got pictures from when I was in high school at this place, but it was like this little, almost, when you go to like a corn maze and they've got like all their little cutouts and like this whole
yeah,
family
yeah.
activity thing. It was like that, but like imagine like a tenth of the size of a normal one, right? Where they basically have cutouts and then like a little fake train and then apple trees, right? It was like that was it, but they had the apple cider mill song that they would play when you finished doing whatever activity that you were doing, and it played this whole song, and then they gave you a donut, and I was like, all right, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
I think
totally
that
random.
more reasons to go to New York.
Dude, if you've never been to upstate New York, it's pretty
I've
incredible.
never been to
Very
New
beautiful.
York.
Oh, really? Oh,
One day.
yeah,
How many
dude.
times have you been?
To New York? I've been about 3 times up to New York. Let's see. Yeah, 3 times. So I visited my sister twice up there, and then went to the city once. So, well, I've been to the city all 3 times I went. I went to the city, but one time was specifically for the city, and that was it.
Right.
So, yeah, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for your time, man. What an
Of
awesome
course.
time
I'm like hit with
talking,
the
man.
wave of jealousy now. Of like
Dude, I mean, I don't know. New York City is not my cup of tea. I'm not a huge fan of like giant, massive crowds and like chaos. I mean, I live in Payson. I've kind of become a little bit of slow your roll type person, right?
Slow
But
little turtle.
it kind of smelled like burnt pretzels and burnt rubber, and I was just like, this is not a very delightful smell. Like, and then you got like trash everywhere, and I was like, dude, this is disgusting. I don't know why people love this city so much. But there was the
Yeah.
M&M factory, which was pretty dope, and then there was like the Coca-Cola one. And
But you
like
can do that in Vegas.
exactly. I mean, I grew up in Vegas, and I was like, dude, I had all these same things in Vegas, and I didn't have to travel all the way to freaking New York. Oh man. Well, dude, man, thank you so much for your time. It was
Yeah.
an absolute blast getting to talk with you, and
Oh, it was awesome.
yeah, dude, I really appreciate
Very
it,
fun.
and I'm really excited to hear all these extra things going on because, like I said before, stellar music, man. I really dig the vibe that you have, but also the hybrid nature of the electronic along with like the natural instruments. It's really cool.
I appreciate that immensely. Thank you. This was a
Absolutely, dude.
blast.
Well, when we got some more music coming out, we'll have to have you come back. We'll talk a little bit more, and I'll come up with some other questions that'll be fun to get to know you.
For sure. For sure. Thank you.
Awesome, dude. All right, man. Well, you have a killer evening.
Dude, see you around.
Peace out. Awesome. Well, Reese was rad. That was cool. Went a little long. I'll have to cut some of that little end part because we talked just random stuff, completely unnecessary for the podcast, but a lot of fun. So obviously we did it. But thank you so much for checking this one out. Catch you next time. Deuces.